Alright, what's up guys? So we are gonna do a quick video for tonight, no? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare the 10th generation of the Honda Civic versus the 11th generation. Now I've made videos like this before in the past. I compared yung 2021 LX versus the 2022 LX. But this time here we're actually gonna do a generational comparison, right? And the main reason being, wala akong available na 2020 or 2021 na Honda Civic. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare the 10th generation Honda Civic EX, which you see on the right, and we're gonna compare it to the 11th generation, the 2022 Honda Civic EX, right? So we're gonna do both of the same trim, just to give you guys a better idea of what was the improvement between the 10th versus the 11th generation, and see if it can affect yung purchase decision ninyo, right? Maybe you're driving a Honda Civic that is in the 10th generation, so and maybe you're thinking, I should upgrade my Honda Civic, should upgrade it to the newer one, pero ano ba yung main benefits niyan, yung pinagkaiba na ng dalawa, right? So just a quick recap for you guys. So the 10th generation ng Civic, which is on the right here, right, that was came out in 2016 sa Canada. So from 2016 year models to 2021, that's considered the 10th generation ng Civic. Okay, so the 11th generation is the one that just recently came out for the 2022, which was originally announced back in 2020. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick walk around ng dalawa so you guys can see for the 2019 EX 10th generation, what difference does it have to the 2022 EX of the 11th generation. Okay, so biggest difference that you guys are gonna see, headlights. If you look at the headlights for the 2019, which is the 10th generation Honda Civic EX, it is the regular halogen na headlights. Okay, it only has yung LED tail lights. That for me is the biggest improvement with the 2022 model, the 11th generation, because as you can see, it now has the LED headlights. So big difference, especially if you live here in Alberta, or maybe you drive through a lot of rural na mga roads kung madilim yung daan, no? Having the LED headlights like this one here is better visibility for you compared sa halogen na headlights nung previous generation. Okay? Now the good thing is, for the 11th generation, for the Honda Civic, starting from the LX, EX, Sport, and the Touring, lahat sila naka LED headlights na. Okay? So biggest change between the two. First thing we're gonna point out, no? Here's a better look para makita ninyo. One thing you also gonna notice is yung difference in the body style. So the 11th generation is a bit more conservative, a bit more grown up look, right? Compared dun sa 10th generation, right? You're not gonna see it mainly sa harapan, but if you look at sa rear ng sasakyan sa likod, and even sa side, if you look sa side here, bit more conservative looking on the side compared sa 10th generation, as you can see there, diba? If you look at the taillights sa likuran, so as you can see, a bit more understated, right? LED taillights compared dito. So very radical design change when it comes to aesthetics, no? So that's the 10th generation look with the taillights. You got the LED taillights on the 10th generation. Okay, so you got the parang C, inverted C or baliktad na C na design, versus the more linear na itsura nung 11th generation. So again, both designs have their own fans, right? A lot of the younger generation likes the 10th generation look. Younger guys, younger people like this look better, while the older generation, the people who grew up with the Honda Civics from before, they like this, a bit more mature, more grown up na aesthetic. Okay, so aside from the headlights, aside from the difference in taillights, the length of the vehicle itself, actually hindi mo sila kita looking like this, right? But the Honda Civic, the 10th generation, is actually about mga 1 point something inches, longer yung new generation, yung 11th gen. So the 2022 model is currently at around, I'm trying to remember it, guys. You're looking at around 183.97 inches, no? Whereas the 10th generation one, this one here, official stats from Honda is 182.67 inches. So it's an inch longer yung 2011, yung 2022 version, right? One thing you also gonna notice is the design. So on the EX 2022 models, ito yung design ng kanyang rims. So you got alloy rims, 16-inch alloy wheels. While this one here, on the 2019 model, you got a different design, also 16-inch alloy wheels. However, for the 2020 and 2021 models ng Honda Civic, the style of the rims actually went to this. So 2020 and 2021 Honda Civics and the 2022, pareho lang ng style ng rim. If you want this more stylish looking rim, this is a 2019, 18, 17 year models. Okay, so still a 10th generation, but the 2020 and 2021 models completely change yung style ng rims niya. Okay, now the other big change between these two models, no, is for the 10th generation, the Honda Civic EX has the Honda Lane Watch. So this is the camera here sa may right side ng sasakyan, and it gives you a view of your blind side on the right side though. On the 2022 models, on the 11th generation, Honda got rid of the Lane Watch camera, and it's now standard across all trim levels yung, if you can see there, yung kanyang blind spot monitor system. Okay, so that's the biggest, another big change wala when it comes to the two models. So we pointed out na yung differences ito on the exterior, right? Now, since they're both EX trim levels, both vehicles have the sunroof as well, which I'm gonna point out to you guys here. So ayan siya. Another big change going from the 10th generation to the 11th generation is if you go on the inside, the interior is completely different. So I'm gonna give you guys a look at the 10th generation. This is what it looks like on the inside. So yung infotainment system niya is laid out like this, you know, it's not raised, it's flat there. And the interior stylings as well, still clean, right? Still clean, still bare. You got your knobs over here. So this one big system here, ika nga, right? So you got your push button start, you have the touchscreen controls, you got your heated seats, dual zone climate control, as you can see here, and of course the backup camera. It's right there. Okay. Now the configuration of steering wheel, again for the 10th generation, this is what it looks like. So since it is a 2019 model, it has the Honda Safety Sense technology on the EX. So you have your adaptive cruise control here, and your lane departure warning, pre-collision mitigation braking system, and of course your traction control. Here's the Honda Lane Watch camera, guys. So I'll press this one button here. You can see it shows you the view on the right side. So again, as I mentioned sa mga previous videos ko, I find this really helpful if you live in a city where you have to drive through a highway and then a lot of merging on the right side or exiting on the right side is very prevalent sa daily drive mo. Okay, so for example, right, as I mentioned before, I even did a video demonstrating how useful this was if you live in Vancouver or the general Vancouver area where most of the exits are on the right sides, very busy, there's a lot of cars driving past you. Having the lane watch camera, extra measure of protection, right, because it makes everything visible when you're making your exit on the right side. Now, let's take a look on the 11th generation. So pretty radical change that you guys are going to notice now going into the 11th generation interior. So again, going with the whole theme of Honda with the looks, right? Looks of maturity. So a bit more grown up for the 11th generation. So again, same system as the 10th generation. This is push button start. But now you see the infotainment system ng Honda, it's no longer nakalay flat dito. It's raised like this. It has its own pros and cons, right? I find it. It's a bit of a more modern look. A lot of vehicles are putting their infotainment system na ganito. And another big change on the interior, if you notice, bit more simplified design, right? You got the honeycomb grille. That's your vents for your AC. So yan siya, more streamlined, more simpler. It reminds me a lot of the Mazda aesthetic, no? Very simple, very plain, but still very nice looking. So again, since we are talking about the EX trim, we're comparing the 10th generation EX versus the 11th generation EX. It has all the features na meron ng isang EX trim, right? Namely, the push button start, which gives you the remote starter installed sa sasakyan na. It's built in, the remote starter. You got your dual zone climate controls here. Okay, you have your heated seats here for both driver and passenger. And as I mentioned earlier, wala nang lane watch, wala nang Honda lane watch. It's all blind spot monitor na. So backup camera wise is what it looks like. So it's a bit of a nicer view, right? Again, this whole aesthetic, it looks very modern pero very clean. Okay, so since we are talking about the EX, it has all the safety systems as well na meron yung 10th generation, which is yung adaptive cruise control. As you can see here as well, I want to point out is yung redesigned styling nung steering wheel niya, diba? So your adaptive cruise controls are here. Okay, Bluetooth controls here for the audio and all that stuff. Now, the individual controls ng safety systems mo are no longer there. Okay? Sorry guys, I'm gonna see if I can focus there. Instead, you can find the safety system controls right here on your dash here. So let me show you. If you go here, maintenance, safety support. So press on that and it will tell you all the safety systems na meron tong sasakyan to, which is actually, you know, with the exception of the lane watch, it's very similar to the 10th generation. So as you can see there, right, road departure mitigation, which is yung lane departure warning, to put it simply. Blind spot monitor, right, that took the place of the Honda lane watch. Collision mitigation braking system. So almost completely identical when it comes to safety features. It's just that the configuration is different. Now the biggest change for the 11th generation EX, which is a big plus for those of us who live sa Western Canada, is yung inclusion ng heated steering wheel. This has been a long time coming. I personally am very happy with this upgrade, right? Because if you're driving here sa Western Canada in Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, where temperatures can drop to -20, -30, having a warm steering wheel, right, makes for a very comfortable drive. So both vehicles, both the 10th generation and 11th generation, have the leather wrapped steering wheel, but the 11th generation has the heated steering wheel. Again, big comfort addition when it comes to the Civic. And you know, one thing I'm gonna admit, no, naunahan ng Honda completely, because I believe Toyota, the Corolla had it, the Sentra had it before, the Kia and the Hyundai models had it as well. So yan siya. Your icon button is still there. Okay. So let's sum it up, no. Let's summarize both na. So guys, I think personally that there has been a big change, right? Significant changes from the 10th generation Civic to the 11th generation. Mainly the addition of the LED headlights, right? Those are the biggest additions I think, no? Just to give you a summary, right? Biggest improvements from the 10th generation Civic to the 11th generation Civic on the EX trim would be the addition of the LED headlights, right? Combined with the LED taillights. The addition of the blind spot monitors to replace yung Honda Lane Watch, and the addition of the heated steering wheel. Otherwise, all the signature additions ng EX trim, the alloy wheels, the sunroof, right, the push button start with the built-in remote starter, it nag-carry over siya from the 10th generation to the 11th generation. So I would say good job, right, when it comes sa Honda, making sure that, you know, there was some more, instead of just focusing sa looks, no, which is mainly what a lot of manufacturers do nowadays. Ibahin lang nila yung looks ng sasakyan ng konti, and they will call it a redesign. When it comes to the Civic, the 10th generation versus the 11th, very drastic yung difference nila sa looks. But the 11th generation, right, has a bit more value-driven features compared to the 10th generation. So if you're wondering, right, maybe nasa market ka ngayon, maybe you're driving a 10th generation Civic, right? So again, as I mentioned, 10th generation is anything between 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 2021 models. If you're thinking to yourself, gusto ko na magpalit ng sasakyan, right? Pero, you know, ano ba yung mga bago between the 2016, 17, 18, 19 na model, tsaka yung 2022 na model, yung redesign, aside yung katawan? Well, I hope this video was able to give you a very summarized idea kung ano yung improvements, right? Personally, kung tatanungin ninyo, I like yung design ng 10th generation. It's very youthful, right? The 11th generation is a bit mature. Maybe if I'm older, I'm gonna like this aesthetic better. Driving both vehicles though, I will have to say this. The 11th generation, despite the fact na mechanically, engine-wise, transmission, walang pinagbago, I find the 2022 model a bit more smoother on the road. Okay? Whether or not dahil brand new siya and yung previous generation is now technically a pre-owned vehicle, I don't want to say that. Pero I would have to say na talagang I noticed, personally, I noticed yung difference na mas smooth sa daan yung bagong model. Okay? But yeah, so I hope natulungan kayo ng video na ito. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like the 10th generation better, or do you like the 11th generation better? Okay? But yeah, so that's our video for tonight. We are comparing the 10th generation Honda Civic EX trim to the 11th generation Honda Civic EX trim. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope na you contact me on your next vehicle purchase.